Shawn Eichorst, trying to turn a negative into a positive here at the University of Wisconsin. And lots of fans are upset. I haven't seen a lot of people being super amped about the hire. And I'll give you this. It's not like this is the sexy hire where you're like, yeah, we got our new AD that's going to change how we do things around here. Everything's going to be different, and it's great because it's different, and they would be hiring the imaginary, and I'm just creating a person. I'm not going to use any of the people who were possibly up for the job, but we're going to hire this a 45-year-old youngster who, as an AD, that's a youngster, 45-year-old up-and-coming youngster who's got a background in administration, but also a background in sales, and is handsome or beautiful, whichever, however they're coming out there, and then all of a sudden they can speak eloquently, they get you excited. This imaginary person that just rolls in here and saves Badger athletics. That wasn't going to happen.
Why?
Because they don't exist. How many schools have cool ADs / do you know the AD of?
So the only one that comes to my mind, I mean, obviously we know who it is in Wisconsin, but like McIntosh we knew because it was an abject failure. The only one that I can think of is like when Iowa was going through some turmoil a few years ago, and then they just hired their new person a couple years ago. And honestly, I don't even know their name. So like that really shows you how much you should know about an athletic director. I know that she's doing a good job. I don't know what her name is.
Isn't that what you should know about an athletic director?
Is if they're doing good or bad?
It's like a kicker or a punter. If you know, like, especially your punter, if you know your punter's name.
Well, Packer fans, we don't know what our kicker's name is right now.
Or a long snapper. Like, you don't want to know your long snapper's name.
Yeah, because otherwise things are going bad.
You want an AD that you don't know the name of.
Right.
So, as much of, like, we're all angsty about Shawn Eichorst, here are two things that it's not sexy. It's not super hyperbolic. It's not like, all right, we're going to do this. But when you say he is qualified and he is capable, I don't know. That's kind of what you want out of an athletic director, right? He's qualified for the job.
Okay, and qualified because he's had similar roles, like in his. But I mean, I don't want to make a positive into a negative, but like we talked about him being at Nebraska.
Yes, he's had success and failures at big time programs. So that doesn't mean he's perfect, but if he was perfect, he'd be at these programs. You have to hope that what he learned at Texas will be the difference here. Of that, he obviously learned at Wisconsin, learned at Miami for a little bit, learned at Nebraska. And then went down to Texas. By all accounts, the University of Texas, and we're not going to get into, at some point we'll get into the hilariously AI quotes from the people down in Texas.
Seen these.
Riley can get to those a little bit later.
They don't say y'all in them or what?
That would be even better. But I'm not buying those, but like it sounds like the vibe around Eichorst in Texas was that he did his specific job well. And then, Riley, you were sharing some of the kind of, what were the scores you found from his time at Nebraska, where basically they were asking student athletes and coaches, what do you think of the athletic director?
Yes, that was from an article put out by a Nebraska football beat writer that was posted by Badger Extra. And he did a whole story. He covered Eichorst when he was at Nebraska, and he's surprised that he's getting this opportunity. But he wrote that the student athletes specifically loved the leadership when he was there, and they loved Eichorst. And that seems to be a pretty common thread, that he is really big on making sure the student athletes have a great time and are treated really well while they're on campus.
You know how like when you're making like a pros and cons list when you're trying to do like a big life decision, right? Like I almost want to write down every single pro that we've heard about Eichorst, and then, did I just say his name right or wrong?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
all of a sudden, he has a name that I panic once I say it. I'm like, wait, is his last name actually like Elkhorn or something?
And
I don't want to like mess you up.
After Gutekunst.
I think I might just call him Shawn, like because I will remember Shawn. Shawn with a W. But like I almost want to make a pros list and a cons list, or like a tally of like, okay, I have 5 pros and I have two cons.
Let's do it. All right, we're right down to pros. Pros, coaches, players loved him.
Yep. Number one.
Which okay, as we dive into this, is super interesting, and honestly a good thing, because I don't think that people would have said the same thing about Chris McIntosh. Obviously there's different lawsuits that are happening in terms of how players were treated. Like So that to me is really good to see, almost the complete opposite of what was here before.
844-770-3776. It's Carbon Talk text line. List is more. You can chime in with your pros and cons about the hiring of Shawn Eichorst. And
it's funny because I don't know if any of us actually have any real, feeling. Well, obviously we have feelings and opinions on it, but, none of us actually know because nobody knows who this guy is. You know what I mean?
Right, that's fair. We don't even know how old he is.
Right. The guy doesn't have a Wikipedia page. Maybe he has one today because he got hired. But otherwise, when I was trying to do research yesterday, I'm like, I can't find this guy's Wikipedia anywhere.
But we did see that. I guess the con, which I want to circle back to this one, but I think in that same article, I think they said he was allergic to the media. Mm-hmm. So I guess it's like a face of the program.
No bueno. Con.
Yes. All right, to the media. Con, do we go with...
Hired Mike Riley?
So it's the...
Fired Bo Pelini?
Are those both cons?
I think let's start with firing Bo Pelini. Was that a pro or a con at that point in time? Because it sounds like...
I don't know if you can say objectively that's a con.
I was going to say
so many people hated Bo Pelini.
And we talked to Lane Grindle yesterday, and
yes.
you can see it on the ESPN Madison YouTube stream. He kind of hinted that the old fuddy-duddies, the hoity-toities at Nebraska...
They ran him out.
And in that day and age, which doesn't seem like a long time ago, but that was probably 2011, 12, something like that. And Bo Pelini was there probably from 08 through that time. Those, it was still old-timey football, especially Nebraska. Mm-hmm. I mean, think of Wisconsin, but even more aged is how I think of how Nebraska
more aged
football.
Yeah.
And so I think they just 6 years ago got rid of the wishbone offense there. I'm kidding, but not really. So with this, I'm going to put it down as hiring Mike Riley.
Yes.
As the con.
Okay. So what are we at?
We got 2 cons.
How many pros? 2, right?
1. What's the other one? Oh, experience?
Experience. Tons of Power 4 athletic director
I'm gonna write
experience.
Down pros is Texas.
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Because even we'll take a look at the press release comments later from Chris Del Conte and Steve Sarkisian, but they are very positive. And I just saw a tweet from the CFO, the Chief Financial Officer of Texas. They quote tweeted Wisconsin's announcement of his hire. And he was like, worked with him every day for the past 8 years. I love Shawn. He's a pleasure to work with. He's going to be awesome at Wisconsin. He got a good one. So it seems like the Texas people love him.
Interesting.
What about dream job?
I like that.
That this is his dream job.
Mm-hmm.
And he had to leave a great position where everyone loved him at Texas. And
He probably got paid pretty well.
Yeah, and I doubt no one was ever going to call for his job at Texas.
Right.
To come here in a place where he will have very high expectations.
What about being from Wisconsin? Like a Wisconsin native. Is that a pro or a con?
I'd say that's a pro.
Yeah.
Okay.
Understands what he's getting himself into. He knows the fan base. He's been, I think I said this yesterday, but he's lived in Milwaukee. He's lived in Whitewater. He's lived in Madison.
He's all over.
Yeah.
He's from Lone Rock, wherever that is.
Lone Rock on the side? No,
I don't know. I've been meaning to look this up,
I just
so I'm going to look it up right now.
I think it's western Wisconsin, if I had to guess off the top of my head.
Probably on a Lone Rock.
All right, cons.
Oh, it's by Spring Green.
Spring Green? Oh, okay. That's not that far.
That's over by where Greg Gard is from. He's from Cobb, Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
Are those positives that he worked with at least at the same time that Greg Gard and Mark Johnson were here?
Yeah, connections, I'd say. So that's a pro.
I mean, what does their crossover have to do with it? Just so you're going to be able to work well with those people, potentially?
I mean, the most successful program, obviously that should be able to just be pick up and go. What about this one? And I don't know how to specifically say it, but so Eichorst was here at Wisconsin. What was the time frame?
I believe 2006 through 2011.
So that's still it's not the full-on Badgers are the Badgers era. Mm-hmm. And I have a feeling that some of the stuff with the Badgers, and we'll get into this later, with they finally got Culver's to sign on for the jersey, is that the Badgers very much carried themselves hoity-toity of hey, we're the Badgers. Sign this because we're the Badgers. Come work with us. And I have a feeling, at least talking to people who worked with Barry Alvarez back in the day, that was not how it was with Barry. It was very much how Pat Richter talked about it. That when you're in sales, you're in customer service. And that startup small business mentality that Wisconsin had when Barry got here, I think, and Pat brought it as well, but Barry brought it to the football program. Eichorst might have some of that left in him of understanding that I'm coming here. This isn't Texas. I know what the big stuff looks like. We ain't that. So we need to go out there and remind ourselves that we're in customer service. So we need to go to Culver's and say, we want to work with you. We want your money. We want your brand. What do we have to do? Instead of just saying, Culver's, here's what it costs.
Yeah.
As an example. And like someone with that mentality, a customer service mentality, which to me applies in this sort of, if the coaches and players loved him, someone with that like serving mentality could work out well.
And you look, he does have pretty good fundraising acumen. If you will look at his time at Miami, that's really the only thing of note he did is he raised money for the football program. He increased fundraising from the Booster Club, which is kind of shocking at Miami, given how much money I would assume was already pouring in. And at Nebraska, he headed up so many capital projects, so many facility renovations, like Memorial Stadium got a big facelift when he was there. That needed him to go out and raise a ton of money. I believe where their wrestling team, their volleyball team, wherever that field house, their version of the field house, I think that got totally redone when he was there. That cost a ton of money. So he's good at finding money and getting people to donate to the AD,
which is arguably the most important thing in Wisconsin athletics right now.
Right now, you could definitely make the case.
Okay, so what are we at? Pros and cons.
Well, here's what we got. I think we'll just draw the list here. We have experience. Coaches, players loved him. Texas, dream job. Wisconsin native, fundraising. Cons, allergic to the media. And
Mike Riley.
Mike Riley. Yeah.
Which could be pretty big cons.
Yes, without a doubt.
Especially the situation that he's walking into with Luke Fickell in this football program.
And from some stuff I've read, I don't know how much stock you want to put in this, but it seemed like he wasn't the biggest leader. Like he wasn't a big presence at either Miami or Nebraska. He wasn't great at being the face of everything, which could tie in with the allergic to media.
Right. I mean, and I guess I could look at it two ways. If you want to look at it like positive, it could be that you have the right people around you in order to lean on them to go out and do those things, especially if he's doing kind of more of the behind the scenes putting it all together, I guess. But obviously you can find the negative to look at too, that, we already had that in Chris McIntosh, and also what feels like in Luke Fickell, that we know that neither of them are like how Greg Gard is out in the community at different things. So, interesting.
844-770-3776. That's the Carbon Stock text line. List is more. If you got any more pros or cons for us, please share it on the other side. Molly, I already said